Hi, my name is Sami Harfouch, and for CSE 4486 of the spring 2019 semester, this is my technical presentation on computing. Now, on the subject of computing, power efficiency and green code and its scarce use worldwide is an issue that I would like to discuss with you today. Power efficiency is among one of the largest issues that I can think of that affects us globally, since it has become a more widely used tool, and the tool that I'm discussing here is programming itself. This issue came to my attention from both a professor of mine and the two deans, the dean and the vice dean of engineering at each year's E2 camp. It was discussed. E2 camp, for those of you that don't know, is our ASU summer engineering camp. I counseled this camp for about 4 years, and we always discussed this subject at each camp. Programming is becoming a subject that is known at the simplest level by a lot of users because of its growing access at the moment. So there's a lot of apps being developed to teach us the very base level of programming. There are a lot of textbooks coming out, such as like Programming for Dummies, that have been coming out that teach us the very base level and do not inform us of ways that we can make our programming efficient for both power and time. As an engineering student, I've taken over 6 years of programming myself, and I can confidently say that there's not a single program out there that can be only done in one particular way. What I'm trying to say here is that whether you are making a calculator or an elevator program or anything else, there are many ways to do the exact same function in programming. The differences in each program can be of the smallest level by just introducing different amounts of variables, the types of loops you use, whether they be for loops, while loops, do loops. It is very important to study what each and every one of these loops do and use the correct one in the right situation. And slimming down your programs to use less variables and, like I said, the correct usage of your loops can be the difference between a efficient program and a non-efficient program for both power and time. Now, with the introduction of more efficient coding, such as using those loops and being smart with the amount of purposes of variables and number of variables you're using, which is easier said than done, you can effectively make a program that requires a lower amount of computing power, and the total time taken to execute it will be a lot lower, while you're getting the same results, mind you. And now the name for programming like this in an efficient manner is called green coding. Now the benefits of green coding are immense and can depend on the amount of effort we put in our code to make it efficient. We can reduce the amount of power we consume, the amount of time it takes for us to complete tasks, and the amount of executables that we can handle in a small amount of time. Now, these three things are the key important factors in making efficient code. This issue may even come down to being influential enough to drastically affect power companies, such as APS or SRP, in their rates for power consumption, but I'm getting ahead of myself here, and this is if green coding is used widely, as it can change the demand of power and the use of power, consumption of power. But the issue at hand is that green coding is not as widely used as it should be. And after doing some research, according to a paper presented at the International Conference on Software Engineering, in interviews and surveys conducted with 464 software engineering firms from a range of disciplines, including mobile, data center, embedded, and traditional software development, researchers found that where green coding most matters, especially within these engineering firms, its practice is rarely used. Now, I personally have used my professor's advice ever since taking his course a few years ago in C++, and every program that I intend on writing, whether it be for myself, for work, or for school, I attempt to simplify it in as many ways as I possibly can. And this is not a difficult concept, but if we remind our classmates or coworkers or associates to make cleaner code, the world could be a much more power and time efficient place. And this is my works cited that I used for this document. And that is my technical presentation on computing and power efficiency in green code. Thank you guys so very much for your time, and I hope you guys learned something today.